Girl, I
Why does
still
it?
haven't been right for 2 months. What? Oh, it's recording. Oh, there we are.
It is recording.
Hey there.
All right. Hey, Auntie.
Hey, Ash. And hello to all of you. Welcome to Hey Auntie and Ash, where we help bridge generations through conversations. And our conversations are mainly around mental health and culture, pop culture. It could be anything. And
Yes.
excuse me, I have a holes in my mouth. And you guys were hearing me talk about how it's been 2 months since I've been right. I got sick 2 months ago, and boy, oh boy, whatever that virus it has been fighting to hang around. So, Ash, how was your week? Let's start there first before we
Uh,
dive into our topics. How was your week?
my week was a tinge, just like draining. Not in like a bad way, like my kids were just like cutting up or anything. But don't you know you like get to the end of the week and you like, I've had enough. Like I've
Hmm.
released a trillion brain cells, and
Yeah,
yeah, it's time for spring break.
I get it. Well, how was your week, Auntie? My week, because I was waiting on Anisi to ask me. She couldn't
I
get
was about to come in,
up.
but I didn't know if you were going to respond to what I said.
No,
I was
I was
waiting.
just in agreement. So my week was busy. I launched my candle company
Woo!
because your auntie here, your girl, has decided to reinvent herself, and I've been putting a little ticklers out there. Is that even right, ticklers? But yeah, I launched
Yes.
Lemons, Candles and Co. And it's a soft launch this week. So next week you'll see me going hard in the paint. This week it was soft launch, like, okay, let me just release it, put out the website because I'd actually completed the website last weekend, but I didn't, and I published it, but I didn't let anyone know because I was just like, okay, was my trigger finger too fast? What was she? Y'all see her playing with the screens?
Yes, and I'm trying to solo you out, but
Mm.
it's not letting me do so.
It's
So
okay. It's
continue.
okay. So I soft launched this week, and again, I'll be heavy in the paint next week with a lot of
I
videos, a
did
lot
it.
of
Go
conversations.
ahead.
She did. Yay, Nisi. So, yeah. But the name of the company is Lemons, Candles and Co. And so, why lemons? I'm glad you asked because, and Nisi Poo will be able to attest to this too, and probably many of you, because
Mhm.
inevitably life is going to give you lemons. And y'all have
Yes.
already heard and always heard, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. Over here, up in Lemons, Candles and Co., our motto is, when life gives you lemons, light a candle. The point is, when life gives you lemons, when life throws everything except the kitchen sink at you, and it's hard, when you're in those states of mind, when life is just throwing everything at you, it often causes darkness. You feel like you're just fumbling around in the dark somewhere.
Mhm.
So, the point of the candle company, find your light. When life is hard, when life is throwing everything at you, take a moment to breathe and find your light. And of course, it's a play on the light for candles, but also your light is always inside of you. So sometimes we have to get quiet, get in the stillness, and just veg out mentally, just calm down, set an atmosphere for healing, for wholeness, set an atmosphere for clarity. And for me, atmospheres of peace and healing and clarity have generally come surrounding candles. For the life of me, I can't recall a time, except when I was an itty bitty girl, an adolescent. I can't recall a time that I didn't love candles. I've always loved
Mm.
candles. And, Bath and Body Works is my jam. Like, y'all can go on my Facebook right now and find me in the line doing videos for the, what is it, the semi-annual sale, because the candles would be on sale, sometimes $10 for the big jars. And I'm in the line outside in the winter or whenever, get my candles. And I'd light candles because I love aromatherapy. But then always I would end up with a headache. It could be weeks later, hours later, and I would always wonder why.
Mhm.
Well, I'm not trying to throw shade at anybody, but a lot of these big box stores, these candle companies, they use paraffin wax, and that's not good for you at all. That's why I would end up with headaches. My candles are coconut soy base, coconut soy wax. I use natural fragrances. I mix and blend my own fragrances. I make my own scents. And then I have a crackling wood wick, which helps to put you in that relaxation mode because it sounds like a
Mm-hmm.
miniature little fireplace. It's crackling. So it's all things mental health. And then the candle company is surrounding mental health, how to find your light, how to zen out, how to bring the temperature down. So that was my week. I had a few days where I wanted to throw the whole week away. I had some orders. People actually ordered. I was so happy about that. So I had to ship. So I'm finding all the little potential what is the word? Not I can't think of the word. Little line what is it when you have the this is ridiculous. Menopause brain, y'all. Listen. Listen to your auntie young girls, young ladies, young women. Talk to your doctors about perimenopause and menopause. I don't care if you're in your 20s, start getting educated now. My mother didn't talk to me about anything. And so who knows when she was going through menopause? She was always, I'm not going to say this, but our relationship was very challenging. So she was never really nice to me. So I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't tell if she was going through any kind of personality shift or emotional change or mood swings. I couldn't tell because she was always the same with me. Um, but so with that, I literally was surprised with menopause. Like perimenopause came in, it came in like a wrecking ball. It's the only song I could think of with me having frozen shoulder. I just woke up one day and couldn't lift my arm. So y'all, Nisi Poo, start talking to your
Yes.
doctor Ash about perimenopause. Get prepared, get the information and all the things that it can affect. Because I haven't had a night's sleep in since 2021. It started in 21, and
I
that was
can't.
like fluctuating, but literally from 22 consistently, 2022, I have not slept at night. I sleep in the morning. I get 3 to 4 hours of sleep. I feel guilty while I'm sleeping.
Really?
I get up and I'm up the whole day. I have lines that I've never seen under my eyes for the last 3 years of not sleeping at night and getting very limited sleep. My mood is pretty good because a lot of menopausal, perimenopausal women, they get really irritated, agitated, hate the world, hate everybody.
Mm.
I think my mood is good because I'm accustomed to oh my gosh, I just menopause brain. Okay. I'm accustomed to regulating my emotions because I
Right.
had depression, right?
Yeah.
Because I was dealing with so when you're going through any kind of mental illness, it forces you if you're going to be proactive and actually live
Right.
a decent life, you're going to have to self-regulate. So because I'm accustomed to self-regulation, my mood is fine, right? And most women who are in menopause, their moods are, they're dealing with it, they're struggling. I don't struggle in that area because I'm used to it. I'm used to self-regulation. But the sleep, now the other shoulder is giving me a problem. When I had frozen shoulder, I went through
No,
cortisone shots in my shoulder, had to have several
I
cortisone shots,
can't.
had to have 6 months of physical therapy, and it's still not completely 100%, but it was better. Now the right side hurts. I'm like, what? Hello?
Yeah.
And the weight gain
No.
and the freaking cravings, the sugar.
Yes.
Oh, the sugar and carb cravings are
But
insane.
I think another thing, because this is the thing, when you are peri, right, and
Mhm.
all of these things are happening, is it like your estrogen is like going everywhere?
So it
Like
is
what is happening hormonally?
you're losing estrogen. You're starting to lose estrogen.
Ah, but
And
what's
so
happening with the progesterone?
progesterone, I think it decreases too. But here's the thing: when you're in peri, it's not a depletion of the estrogen and progesterone. Progesterone. It's not a depletion of it. It's just you start your period gets wonky. You may have one this month and don't. Menopause, your period is basically gone. So when you think about what
Oh,
your
so
period
peri
is,
is like the dwindling of things.
yes, yes, yes.
And so, but what I'm saying is like, is there any way to regulate your hormones?
Without hormone replacement therapy, I don't know. I don't think so. I think you
Mm.
need something. Now, of course, I'm not on HRT. I don't want anything else in my body. I've had
Because
enough.
I mean, I found out, well, I don't say I found out, but I'm kind of into my herbs, my vitamins,
Mhm.
all of the things.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I started realizing like I was waking up in the middle of the night. I
Oh, mhm.
was um it was hard for me to go to back to sleep, but I was
Mhm.
fatigued and all of the things. But I realized also, I mean, that could be the beginning, but I
Mhm.
realized also like my progesterone was low.
Mhm. So
And
that's why I
so,
said that's decreasing too, but here's the thing. You need to start looking at, even if it's natural, you need to start looking at natural ways of supplementing estrogen or increasing
mhm.
and
Well, no,
progesterone
no,
or
no. So
whatever.
the problem is when
Okay.
you have fibroids, that is an increase in estrogen,
It is. I
right?
forgot about your fibroids.
So,
Yep. Mhm.
so my body is, body needed progesterone, so I started taking magnesium,
Yes.
right? And
Yes.
you kind of gotta double your dose because your body needs that extra
And so
progesterone.
that's what I was gonna say. There is a way, like in terms of vitamins and all these other things, these natural vitamins, the um oh gosh, I can't think. Again, menopause brain. When I tell you
Yeah,
the fog is real, there are words, and I've shared this with you guys before, and I keep sharing this because it's such a taboo topic, right?
it
Most of the
is.
things that affect women, we don't talk about it because we're in this society of what male dominance. What's the word that I'm looking for? The what
Um,
society with men.
Masculinity,
It's another word. Can't think
misogyny.
of the word. That's not it, but that's okay. We're gonna
Okay.
use it. The misogynistic world, we'll use that because we're in this male dominant misogynistic world. Everything is hush hush around women's health, even
Yes,
with a period. Men, you feel embarrassed when you're on your period. It's a natural thing. It's something God
it
gave us,
is.
right? Menopause, perimenopause, we didn't do anything wrong to get it. Like,
No.
it's natural. It's what we're going to go through. So we need to destigmatize these conversations. Like, it's not anything bad, it's not anything negative. It's negative in the sense of its signs and symptoms, but in
Yeah.
terms of you doing something wrong because you're in menopause. I've done nothing wrong except age, right? And what's the option? It's either aging
Right.
or death. Right?
That
So
part.
I think I need to live. But yes, you can take supplements. So that's the thing. Like, I was on these one a days that I need to go back to, that
Mm,
are good for women in my
yeah.
age. I actually got the menopause one a days. I need to take those again because they were actually helping. So there are
Mm,
supplements that you can take, and
okay.
that's why I said, like, educate yourself now so that you're
Yeah.
not in the throes of it with me, because sleep deprivation is not good on your heart, and I already deal
No.
with high blood pressure. So I'm not trying to be out of here and you on the podcast talking about in memory of Auntie, because Auntie's out of here. No, we don't want that. So I
No.
have to at some point get some sleep, because sleep deprivation also, it causes weight gain. Because your body, when you're
Yes.
sleeping, how the hormones and all that happen and work and help you to actually burn calories while you
Yes, it
sleep.
does.
So all these things, the what is the word I'm looking for? It used to be this commercial for this weight loss supplement. I can't think of it. Anyway,
Dextran? Slim Fast?
it was a whole. You need Relicore. It was Relicore, and it was.
Oh,
I
okay.
remember the commercial, but it was talking about the releasing of the different hormones, and so cortisol. Yes, stress releases cortisol.
Oh, yes.
If you are deprived of sleep, your body is
Your body
releasing
is
more
in stress.
cortisol. It's
Yes.
in stress all the time. So, of course, you're going to gain weight. Of course, high cortisol levels
Yes.
encourage weight gain and cravings. So, it's this vicious cycle that I have to get out of. And I don't want HRT for a lot of hormone replacement therapy. I had to make sure that's right. I don't want HRT for a lot of reasons. My body has gone through a lot. I've had a lot of stuff go on, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to do things that are natural, and to God be the glory that I'm not physically working right now, because I
Yeah.
couldn't, like, at this point. But anyway, going back to the Kendo company, it's been this beautiful release that I can be around these wonderful fragrances that are natural, that don't cause any
Hmm.
kind of allergies, allergic reactions. It's, natural and good for the environment, eco-friendly, and also the aromatherapy part of it, because I need
Hmm.
that right now. I need things that are calming
Yeah.
to my senses. So, y'all
Yeah.
young ladies, including my niecey poo here, do your work. educate yourself so you will not be in the stage and the state that I'm in. Life is still good, right?
Yeah.
We're always going to have lemons. Life is always going to throw lemons at us. And we have to do the work to find our light, right? When
Yeah.
life throws the lemons. So I'm finding my light in the things that I do that bring joy and peace.
Joy.
So that was a long answer to how my week has been.
Okay. It be like that sometimes.
So, Nisi Poo at my Ash, what are we talking about tonight?
So we're gonna talk about a little bit of politics. We're gonna talk about a little bit of culture. We're gonna talk
Okay.
about a little bit of mental health, as
Mhm.
usual, the things that we are good at, right?
Perfect. So kick it off.
All right, so we have all of these boycotts going on,
Girl.
right?
Mm-hmm.
All of the boycotts are happening. They telling us don't shop at Sam's, shop at Costco. Don't shop at Target, shop at your local, store.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe go to Mariano's. I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
Kroger is on there.
I haven't seen
However,
Kroger, but I'm not sure.
haven't seen Kroger,
Mm-hmm.
but they telling us don't go to the mart. Do not go to Walmart. Don't go to Wally's World.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, we've had some small successes.
Yes, we have.
There are some stocks and things that are tanking.
Mm-hmm.
I think,
Target.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Walmart had a bad day too now.
Oh, good. The Walmart needs bad days. Uh-huh.
They
Target does
do.
too. Uh-huh.
And so let's talk about every time I do like this, I feel wig man. Um,
Uh,
what was I gonna say? Let's talk about why we should all be participating in some space, right?
mm-hmm.
Everybody should be participating,
Yes.
especially if you are a person of color.
Yes. So, I think the best way to send a message to individuals, especially those who lead with capitalism, the
Yes.
best way to get their attention is in their pockets. Often they won't hear your words,
No.
but they will hear a, a pocket issue. They'll hear their bank account
Yes,
um,
they will.
being deplenished. They'll
Yes.
hear, oh, the stock market, my stocks are going down. My portfolio, oh no, I
Is
was
is
good last week.
decreasing.
Yes, they
Mhm.
will hear that. So I think that, a lot of people talk about protests, and I have been a protest girl. Okay. I have been in many a protest, pickets, the signs and everything. I still have some
I've
of my
never
signs.
been in a protest before.
I have. I have been in various protests. I think the first one was Trayvon Martin, I think. So if you could think back to when he
Mm,
was killed, that was the first time I was marching with the sign, and the husband was out there with me. And from
wow.
then on, it was like something was activated in me. Yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah.
protest. I'm gonna go and let my voice be heard. And that was fine. And I did that, and I did my protest with my opinions on social media, all that. There are various ways to protest, right?
Yeah.
Not everybody's gonna be out marching, and that's okay. And in this day, we Black women, known as the 92 percenters.
Yes.
And for those of you who are not aware, the 92 percenters are those Black women who voted for Madam Queen Kamala.
That
Okay.
part.
Okay.
Or it's
So,
given mostly all of them.
yeah, it is. It's giving majority. Okay.
Thank you. Thank
it,
you.
it's giving. It's giving. So we 92 percenters have said, y'all want it? We're going to back up.
This
You
is
can
what y'all
have it.
want.
Y
Exactly.
We can have it. Yeah, y'all can have it. So to expect us to be out there on the lines putting our
We're
Black
not doing
bodies,
that.
we're not doing it. So,
But we won't spend our dollars where
and
we don't
that's
need
my
to.
point. That's where I'm going. Like, we still have to protest. We still have to say something. We still have to allow our voices to be heard, because what we cannot do in our space of rest is bury our heads in the sand
That
while
part.
our wrists are being shackled to go back into slavery.
Yes.
Okay. We cannot do that. So we still have to protest in some shape, form, or
And
fashion.
the crazy part about it, I've seen some millennials be like,
Hmm.
I don't see what the purpose is. Um, we not the people who need DEI. Okay, let's be honest in some cases.
Hmm.
Black people, no, we haven't fully benefited from DEI, but there are some spaces in which we need DEI.
The
Okay.
vast majority of the spaces where you see a black CEO, there has
Yes,
been some level of we needed DEI to get
we
there.
need DEI.
Even though we're more than qualified, right?
That
Because we're
part.
always 2 to 3 times as qualified as the other person to get the first
But we need
opportunity.
DEI.
Right.
And the thing about it is, I I talk more in my stories than I do like posts. And I was
Mhm.
talking about how my third graders came in and they were just like, my mom said we can't go here and we can't go here and we can't go here. And they was like, but why? Like, why can't we, go to these spaces? So I tried to like say things that they could readily identify with.
Uh-huh.
And one of the things that we talked about is, I made it applicable. If you have a
Mhm.
family member that has to be in a wheelchair but still can
Yes.
work, you
Mhm.
know,
Mhm.
that policy covers them, right?
Yes. Yes.
If you have a mom that is pregnant or auntie that's pregnant and they need those days after they
Mhm.
have the baby. They need that rest.
Yes.
DEI covers that. It even covers for your dad to be at home with your mom when
Yes.
she has a baby, or your uncle to be at home with your mom when she has a. All of those things are important. They were just like,
Wait, I'm sorry. Why is the uncle gonna be at home with the mother?
I mean, the uncle gonna be at home with the auntie. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
I'm like, what's happening in their
That's
families?
what I was trying to say. I mean, but the way that we live, that could happen too.
And
Okay.
actually, while I'm talking, my brother is a product of my uncle being at home with my mother.
I'm
As
sorry.
quiet as it gets. My
But
brother is my brother and my cousin. Okay.
yeah. So I mean I got a sister that's technically no, I got two sisters that are technically cousins too. But
Yep. Hmm.
yeah.
So technically,
Um the dads were busy. However,
oh
I
my.
definitely, had those conversations with them and they're like, I'm sad. Like
Hmm.
this makes me sad that we even have to like talk about this. And then they were like, but can we go to Chick-fil-A? I'm like, you can't, friend. That's not a part of the process. The boycott is boycotting Chick-fil-A. Well, can I go to Baba's? You can go to Baba's. You cannot go to Chick-fil-A. You cannot. Can I go to blah blah? You can go to a local black owned place. You cannot go to Chick-fil-A, friend. And they were very sad about that.
And they have to learn it though now, right?
They do.
This will start discipline, and this will create young adults that can actually take a stand because
Yes.
they're accustomed to putting their flesh under subjection. They're
Mm-hmm.
accustomed to not getting everything they want, the whims of
Yeah.
their daily whatever. They're accustomed to it. So this will create some really good adults. That's good.
Yes.
And so that speaks to, I think it was, oh, it's Al Sharpton. I was trying to remember who it was. We're calling it a boycott, but he calls it a boycott. So what that means is, because now we're in the boycott, and this one hurt me. I'm just gonna be honest, y'all. And guess what? It hurt, but I'm still gonna do it. And not I'm still going to. I'm still
I miss
doing it.
Target. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I love
I
me some
I I,
Target.
I don't miss Target and I don't miss Walmart. I definitely don't miss Walmart.
Well,
Walmart.
my
Oh,
vitamins are cheaper at Target, but
yeah.
that's all I'm saying. I
I get
miss
it.
it for those
This
reasons.
is the
However,
one that I'm missing for the next, and it's only a week. But guess what? I'm doing it.
you an
Amazon.
Amazon girl,
I You know why I'm an Amazon girl? Remember, I'm a severe introvert. I love the house. I love being
and you could
indoors.
just get
I can
everything.
get everything there through the click of a finger, right? I can just go online from
I
food
am
to,
not an Amazon
I
girl.
am an Amazon
I'm a
girl, okay?
Fashion Nova. You know,
Girl, I haven't shopped for clothes in forever because I won't buy clothes until I can buy smaller sizes. But
but I'm
I
pretty
just,
sure all of the stuff like that you need for your equipment, for your candles and
oh,
things like
girl.
Yeah.
Whew, when I tell you this one, but it's only 7 days. So just an FYI, y'all, the Amazon boycott, whatever we want to call it, uh, we are not supposed to. If you're participating in it, it started Friday. What's that date? What's today's date? I don't even. Friday the 7th, and it is effective through Friday the 14th, I think. I think the
Ah,
last day
okay.
is, so it's 1 week. Now Target is a 40-day, and it just started. So
Oh my God.
I can't remember the last day, but it's some day that you come off in April. Target is
Y'all
easy.
intercede for me. Y'all need to be sending up prayers because y'all don't understand. Like, so this is the beauty about Target. Like, I can order my stuff.
Hmm.
It will be ready in 2 hours. All I gotta do is sit outside, wait for them to bring me my stuff. I don't even have to go in a store.
You know why I love this though? Yes, it is a sacrifice, but also, especially being an auntie, the older person in the room, and I'm sure you as a millennial look at these Gen Zers like, Lord, shaking my head,
Oh,
right?
they
Because
don't have no discipline, friend.
that's what I mean. Like
They have
us Gen
no
Gen
discipline.
Xers, we're used to not having, or no, you have to have
Yes.
discipline here.
And I
We're
don't want to say
used to that.
all of them, but it's a
Right. No, I
good
get it.
majority of them that
I
do
get
not.
it. And so this is why I'm saying this is a good thing. It's actually a good thing beyond the implications, the economic implications that it'll
Yeah.
have, and the way they'll hear our voices. That's great. That's amazing. And also that we can reset as a society. I am so tired of this microwave. Even though I love Amazon, I love the fact that it's so convenient, right? But forcing me to get outside, forcing me to go to a store,
To
forcing me,
actually, oh yeah,
it's a good thing, even though,
yeah,
yeah, you can have it in the
it
comfort of
is.
your own home, make this order, but it,
Yeah.
it it separates you from society, and it makes it easier for me to become a
Yes.
recluse. It makes it easier when my friends are like, I want to you why don't you go here? And I'm like, nah, I'm just gonna hang out at home today. It makes it easier for me to just withdraw. So it's forcing not just discipline, but it's forcing me to come out of my shell. That's one of my taglines, out
Out
of my
of
shell.
my
Right,
shell.
exactly. It's forcing me to come out. It's forcing me to go outside, which I need to do. So, and that's for the menopausal recluse. I'm not a recluse, but I was getting close to
You
there.
are not a recluse,
I'm not, but girl, when
but
I
she
tell you,
definitely is an introvert. Like when we get on the phone, it's like, yeah, girl, okay, to the point. Okay, all right, friend. It's nearing the time. It's time to get off.
and
That's
I
around about 10 to 15 minutes.
and I love
After
me some
that,
Ash.
she like,
I love Ash.
but I'm
But
telling y'all, she be like, now, friend. And the crazy part about it, I'm gonna say this, and I don't know why this is,
mhm,
but even at my like, I always find myself like, even at work, being
mhm,
around the older people,
mm.
and it's
'Cause you
like I
have an
have
old
to
soul.
balance. No, no,
You
no,
have
no.
a
When I say older people, I'm talking about more seasoned people
yeah.
that are either they're old enough to be my auntie or
You
they're old
have
enough to
an
be my niece.
old soul.
But
You're n
listen,
Uh-huh.
but I have to balance that
Mhm.
level of like there's a friendship here, but they're
Mhm.
still like my elder, right? So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
always like that teeter tottering.
Yeah,
And then when they talking to like other people that are more like around their
their
season
age.
age,
Uh-huh. Mhm.
they be like, "Well, why did you go somewhere? Because I need to stay in little kids' business, okay? That's bro." But I'm
Ooh-wee.
telling y'all, when I'm on the phone with her, I gotta put my timer on because she be like, friend, only in 15-minute increments. Okay.
But you know,
Every 7 days. Every
listen,
7 days.
listen, listen. This is what I love. I was literally thinking about this doing the dishes today because I went outside, and that's always like an event for me. But I was thinking about myself because I'm very self-aware. I was like,
Mhm.
God, I'm standing at the sink doing dishes, just a few. And I was like, God, thank you for my community
Yeah.
because my people know me. And I have shifted and I will adjust if Ash has something and like,
Yeah.
I hate the fact that you call me Miss Michelle, but if you call me and say, Auntie, I really want you to be there, guess what? I'm gonna sacrifice and I'm gonna be there. I am
Yeah.
going to, because she's not asking me for stuff and to do things a lot. So
Mm-mm.
if she asks, I'm going to do it. But the fact that my people know me, and
Mhm.
it reminds me of the scripture that it talks about, my followers, it's not the followers is not the word, but my I'm going to use followers. My followers know my voice,
My
and a
voice.
stranger they won't follow.
Yeah.
And it makes me think about that,
My
like
sheep know my
my
voice.
sheep,
That's
that's it.
really what
Thank
it
you. I
is.
couldn't, the menopause brain girl.
Because I kept
Um,
saying my people know my voice. I'm like,
I'm
that's
like,
not
it's not
right.
people, it's sheep. Yes, it's sheep. But my sheep. And here's the thing. I kept thinking about that because I'm like, nobody could come to Ash and say,
No,
Auntie or Miss Michelle really don't like you. She knows better
no.
than that. Even though that 15-minute timer,
That 15 minutes for real.
but she knows I love her. It's just who I am, part of my person. Now, if
Yes.
she needed me, if it was something important,
Yeah.
I'm not going to rush her off the phone. I'm just going to
But
listen
I
and, be,
but the crazy part about it is even not just y'all, like even my friends that are that are a little bit older than me or around my
mhm,
age,
mhm,
some of them are not phone people. And I'll be like,
mhm.
God, is that your way of telling me to shut up? Because I am a phone person.
I think it's just the balancing, right?
But it's the
Because
balancing, right?
it's the sweet spot. Like, I'm not the
Yes.
person like, that's just who I am, something negative where
Yeah.
someone's telling me, hey, this hurts my feelings. And I'm going to respond with, well,
But I
that's just
got
who I am.
yeah.
No, if you told me that hurts my feelings, I'm going to adjust. Now, I'm never going to become you, but I am going to adjust because
No.
I think the sweet spot is somewhere in the middle.
In the
I can't
middle.
be
Yeah.
close. I can't have good, fruitful relationships without
Yes.
actually relating with people, right? You have
Hmm.
to talk to them. You have to interact at
But
some
I
point.
think that that's a big thing because some people take this introverted thing too
Too far,
far.
too far.
And it's like, you cannot be alone all the time.
Exactly my point. Which is why, and I can notice an introvert a mile away, and I can specifically notice an introvert or recognize an introvert, one who has not done the work. I can recognize
Mm,
them a mile away, and
yeah.
I would be that type of introvert had I not done the work. God showed me 20 some odd years ago, almost 30. Like, if you keep acting like this, you're gonna have a
Yes.
lot of closed doors.
But I agree with you. And
Mhm,
hold on, y'all. Some of this
mhm.
stuff we talking about has nothing to do with what we said we were going to
At
talk about
all, at
tonight.
all.
And it's
But I love it.
okay. Let
I
the
love
Lord
it.
lead us,
I love
okay?
it. Absolutely.
Um, but I'm gonna say this, and this
Mhm.
is why you have to be careful with believing who you are when you are in the midst of dealing with trauma.
Absolutely.
Because trauma will have you thinking
Yes.
that you are an introvert
Yes.
when you may not even be one, or you may be an ambivert. You may be
Yes.
equally like, I can be outside, and you
Yes.
might be equally like, I need my alone time.
Yes.
Like, because just because you dealt with things by yourself doesn't
Uh-huh.
mean that you're meant to be by yourself all the time.
And it also doesn't mean that just because you said just because you have dealt with things by yourself and have
Yes,
had to, right? It also doesn't mean that when that season ends that that will be the season you're in
exactly.
next time. Just because in your childhood, if you had delinquent parents or whatever the case
Yes,
was, and you were solo dolo out there fending for yourself, it doesn't mean that when you're a teenager or a 20 something or 30 something,
yes,
that's going to be your life and your walk of
yes.
life. I used to say all the time, like, and I remember having this conversation with the closest woman to me. I call her
Hmm.
my sister. We were having this conversation, and I said, I don't know if I don't know if I'm an introvert. God, I couldn't get those words out. I don't know if I'm an introvert by force or by choice. I literally said
Oh,
that to her probably over 10 years ago, at least. Might have been
okay.
15. I don't know if I'm an introvert by force or by choice. And I say that because when you are I went to 6 different grammar schools. This is not don't break
Mm,
the world's tiniest violin for me, okay? This is not about sympathy, but it's just my true story. I went to 6 different grammar schools, so I was always the new kid, right? So you have that
gotcha.
factor. You have the, child sexual abuse,
Hmm.
molestation thing going on. You have my mother being a teen mom who wanted and a single teen mom on top of that, and she always wanted to be in the streets. Then she worked 3 to 11, so I was a latchkey kid. I'm the new kid in the class all the time, so that automatically is isolating because 'cause you're starting over
Hmm.
children who have their communities already established, and you're the outsider. I am at home from 3 to 11 by myself every day, latchkey kid. I'm coming home from school, I'm by myself. I am a victim of child sexual abuse.
Mhm.
I'm going through all of these different things, and it's
Yeah.
like, of course you're gonna be an introvert. You have to learn how to function by yourself. You have to learn where to get your energy from. And I didn't
Yeah.
have God at the time. I wasn't a Christian. It wasn't like I had church. I went to church for the first time by myself at 12, and I took my two little cousins with me to this Methodist church. But how impactful was that? I don't know. Maybe that's where God was laying the foundation. But there were certain situations and circumstances designed for me to be by myself and function by myself. Then I was the oldest grandchild. So every time I was around my cousins, I am almost the care provider. They looked at
Yeah.
me almost like an auntie more than they did a cousin. So all of these factors, the nature versus nurture kind of thing, right? Is would I, under different circumstances, be this extreme introvert? I don't know. And then I had situations, as a teenager where my father, what happened there.
Mhm.
And then I had depression and suicide attempts and all these things. I had a
Mhm.
lot of factors forcing me into a shell.
Right.
So if I had a different life, like if I had my druthers, would my life have been different? Of course. But if I had a different life, would I still have been this severe
That's a
introvert?
very interesting thing.
Exactly. That's why I said I don't know if I'm an introvert by force or by choice. So, with that being said, again, I believe everything is about balance. So,
Yes.
I started to see how, oh my gosh, meeting new people, and I still go through the same things. I was the MC in December for Sherry's mom's 65th birthday.
Mhm.
And not only was I an MC, but I wrote this poem for her and I presented the poem and kind of whatever, uh, spoken word, the poem kind of. But as Tanisha went, one of my closest, oldest friends, she went with me. She wanted to go. So she's driving. I said, Tanisha, now this girl knows me. We went to high school together. I
Mhm.
said, girl, look at the palms of my hands.
Were they
When
sweating?
were they sweating?
Oh Jesus!
When I tell you you could have taken a bath with my hands and no water,
What?
my hands were so wet you could see. We were in the car. It was the evening, so there was no lights in the car. You could see the sweat. I mean, like I could have washed her whole face with my hands. And this
Really?
was December, driving through Chicago. So it's not like it was hot. But this is something that I naturally, my body, my chemistry, I go through it. I go through it when I'm meeting new people.
Mm.
I get the butterflies. My nose is sweaty, so you'll see me doing this anytime.
Oh
Ashley,
yeah,
just
you
think
are
from now
introverted.
on, I want you anytime you see me anywhere where I am not, it's not my select few. Anytime there's external people,
Uh-huh.
watch me. You're gonna see me doing this because my nose is sweating.
Well, you
If you
did that when we were on the panel. Like you just like,
I'm telling you, again, Tanisha went to high
but the
school with me.
crazy part about it is, and this is how you know you're probably just moving in your calling. It
Uh-huh.
doesn't stop her from talking.
Absolutely
It
not.
doesn't stop her from speaking.
Nope. Or being effective. It doesn't stop
No.
any because but here's why. And this is the point that I want to challenge individuals out there. Ashley started this off talking about being limited to these labels because of the labels that were put on you or that you accepted or whatever while you were in trauma. And this is just driving it home. If I hadn't started doing the work necessary
Yeah,
on myself, I wouldn't be an effective speaker.
that part.
I wouldn't be able to interact the way that I can. People always argue with me, "You are not an introvert." They always. I'm like, "You have no clue. I am a severe introvert. However, I've done the work so that I can show up. I present as an ambivert. I present as an ambivert,
Ambivert, y'all.
and
Man.
I'm not at all. But because I've done the work, like,
Yeah.
okay, your hands are sweaty. Okay, so what do you need to do? Because chemically, my hands are still going to be sweaty.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna have butterflies. The day that I emceed, I couldn't eat that day before I went to that event. You know why? Because if I eat on a day where I'm going to any event or anything where I know this is gonna be activated, I will get the bubble guts.
No
So,
point.
so I do not eat the day of anything like that. I cannot eat.
Yeah.
So I hadn't eaten. My hands were still really sweaty. My nose, I'm still doing this. But guess what? I know how to deeply breathe. I know how to
Mhm.
make it I know how to decrease the effect and the seriousness of it, like telling Tanisha to look at the palms of my hands. She was like, "Girl, I know they sweaty." I said, "No, I want you to look." She's like, "Oh my gosh, like you still go through that." Of course I do, because it's just who I am. But
Yeah.
I am not restricted or confined to a small life because of it, because I can still challenge myself. That's still where self regulation comes in. That's still where, okay, well, you get bubble guts, or so don't eat that day. Okay,
Yeah.
until after. You have to put some kind of, not policies, but practices into place to stretch yourself. Otherwise, just like God told me
Yes.
almost 3 decades ago, you're going to have a very small life. And so when people say this is just how I am, I wanna stay as far away from them as
From you
possible
as possible. Because that's
because
weird.
that's very weird. And so
Like, yeah.
the world is not for the extrovert, even though extroverts generally shun and shame introverts. No, I think the sweet spot is somewhere in the middle
In the
because
middle. I
we
and so yes, I am definitely ambivert, but my
Mhm,
parents, my
mhm,
biological parents,
mhm.
my mother is an extrovert.
Yes, yes, she is.
Okay.
Yep. I've seen her and been around her a couple of
My
times. Yes, she
father,
is.
though, I
Mhm,
think my dad, and I'm just saying this from me guessing.
mhm,
My dad was more of an introvert than my mom. My mom legit has 100 and something friends. And you
mhm,
know, some people be like, "Oh, that's my friend. That's my friend," and
mhm.
they be like,
Casually.
"But I
Yeah.
just know you from this." No,
Yeah,
my
yeah.
mother legit
Wow.
has 100 something friends. Like she can go out of town and probably be staying with people.
Girl,
Like,
yeah.
does she don't need to get a hotel?
Mhm,
Okay,
mhm,
and she goes on vacations and so.
mhm.
And it take my godmother. My godmother be like, "Is she?" This is like her best friend of like 40 something years. She like,
Here she go.
friend, we still okay. All right. But my
Ah,
mom used to try to make me, and I love my mama
of
dearly.
course. Mhm,
But my mother was very popular in high school and she wanted me to
mhm,
be like the popular girl. And I just didn't care about the things that she cared about, right?
mhm,
I didn't care
mhm,
about being popular. I cared about having friends, but I cared about having quality friends. Now, I still have some of her traits. I could befriend anybody. I have
mhm,
friends that were very popular. I have friends that were considered to be the lanes,
mhm,
that I
mhm,
couldn't take
mhm.
around my popular friend. Like I
Oh, I
could
know.
be in the midst of different friend groups. That just
Mhm,
was me, right?
mhm,
That
mhm.
was the part of my mother that I did have. Now, I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna dance, I'm gonna so and so. But y'all people that go to the club all the time, I ain't never been that girl. I ain't never
So
been that girl. I ain't
so,
never been that girl. First of all, these heels are uncomfortable. You want me to stand up all night.
uh, so
Okay?
Tanisha will tell you, that's the friend I went to high school with and all that. She will tell you because she was my road dog. Like, if I wanted to go out and go dance, first of all, your girl
But not
here.
every weekend.
Oh, heck no. Of
I
course
can't
not.
do that, friend.
Of
That's not
course
for
not.
me.
Of course not. But I have to share this. It's something you'd never guess. I told you the first time I wore jeans, I was in high school. I was a senior, and everyone was like,
Really?
that was the first time. I wore skirts and dresses all the time. And that was by
Okay.
choice. I loved them. And if I wore pants, they were dress pants. I was not a and I definitely wasn't a jean girl at all. First time I wore jeans, I was a senior in high school. And it almost stopped the school. Everybody's like, "What? Michelle's wearing jeans? She messed that up too. Look at her with the pumps. I had on little pumps, like 3 inch heels with the
Oh,
jeans, and that was just me. But
yeah.
even though I was that girl, why was I going to like the Saint Leo parties? And you don't know anything about this. This before your day. They used to call it jacking. Jack your body, jack your body, house dancing. They called it jacking. One day when you're bored, look up jacking. I'm sure they have some videos on
I'm
YouTube.
scared.
I would
Now, my mama told me about doing a dog, but
yeah.
The jacket I never heard
Jacking, jacking
of.
girl.
Okay.
I would be the girl in the middle of the circle jacking guys. Like first it would be me
No,
jacking some
but
wait,
see, this
wait,
is what
wait,
they don't.
wait, wait, wait. It would be me dancing with some guy, and they used to
Uh-huh.
have these parties at St. Leo. Leo is this Catholic high school. I don't is
Uh-huh.
Leo's is it still
Yes.
around? Do you know? Okay.
Yes.
So St. Leo used to have these parties, and I would go sometimes. I would be the girl jacking, they're playing house music or whatever. I am on the floor. Talk about get down low and swing your arms, do the quan. I would be all on the floor jacking a guy, and then other guys would see him getting jacked,
And
and
they
they'd
like,
come
oh, it's
over.
my turn.
Yeah, they'd come over to try to help him.
Oh, that's
So
joking. That's joking, fuck.
they called it jacking back in the
Yeah,
day,
because you
you
got
know.
to hold them up, friend.
So the guys would
I
come
guess that
over to
was
they
joking.
come over to try to help him. So it would end up, and Tanisha can attest to this. I'm gonna make her watch this and comment on this video. But it would literally end up with me in a circle, jacking all the guys.
Period, friend. Because some of us, come on, Auntie.
But
Hello.
the severe introvert though. But then guess what? When I wanted to dance, like as a 20 something year old, and okay, Taylor is with someone and she's safe, it would
Uh-huh.
generally be my mother, whatever, because my mother adored Taylor. And I knew she was gonna protect her, even
Hmm.
though she didn't protect me, whole nother story. But I knew she knew I couldn't come home and something happened to Taylor. That
Right.
just couldn't happen. My mother already
Yeah.
knew. It would it wouldn't have been pretty. When I say it wouldn't have been pretty, it would have
You
been
would have
quite
told
ugly.
that place. Ah.
It would have been quite ugly. So she would protect Taylor. So the moments where I would let her, keep Taylor, and Taylor was older, I'd be like, Tanisha, don't you want to go dancing? Girl,
That's
we go on the
right.
north side, we dance, we'd have
Period,
the
girl.
best time. And guess what? I would be single going to parties, whatever. When I finished
I
dancing,
was a heathen.
now, first of all, I dance, I would not drink because I'm not a drinker. So
That's so
I'd go to a
nice.
club and wouldn't drink a thing
Hmm.
because I wanted to actually go dancing. That was literally
I
the
love
only
that
point.
for you.
I would dance my hair wet, all the things, and then when it was over, I was ready to be out the door. Now, in a club, guys like, "Oh, she was
Nah,
all up
friend.
on me.
Don't.
What's your
Goodbye.
number?" I'm like, I ain't come here for
And
that.
I got to
Goodbye.
go. That's
Good
right.
bye-bye. Thanks for dancing."
Peace.
Deuces.
Hold on. As Martin would say, peace.
Yes, yes. But it's so amazing as I think back on it. That was so funny. Tanisha's gonna crack up at this video.
See, I
But
used to, it wasn't that I did, like, I wanted to dance,
mhm,
but I also, I mean, we were in the era of really hurting heels. That's number one.
mhm,
We wanted to wear them high heels. I wanted to look cute. Like, I
mhm,
wanted to take the pictures and look cute. And I was going to dance. I was
uh-huh,
going to dance.
mhm.
But after about 3 hours, how much more do you want from me, friend?
But this is why it should be on your own terms, your own
Yes.
stipulations. That's why when I was going to dance, Tanisha, she would be there. She'd hold my purse. Sometimes she'd get
Yeah,
out
my
on the dance
friends
floor.
would too.
Yeah. But when I was done, it's like, okay, you ready to go? She's like, yeah. And she wasn't a
Okay.
drinker either. So it wasn't like we were drinking and trying to get
Yes.
guys.
Well,
I
no, I
never
don't
went
have.
to a
Okay.
club and picked up a guy and let a guy pick me up ever in my whole life. Never. Okay.
No.
If I was in a club, it was because I
But see, it
specifically
would be
wanted to
about
dance.
five of us.
Okay.
And one
Mm,
of our guy friends would go. Like, we would be
mhm.
having a good old time. But
Yeah.
see, the other flip side about that is,
Mhm.
and the reason why I say I was a heathen, because most
Uh-oh.
likely I had to sing at church in the morning.
Okay. You were that girl that they talked about was
Or we
all up in the
or we
club
saw
the
the
night
or we saw
before.
the other pew or we ran into the other pew children at the club too. Hey,
Ah.
friend. You ain't gonna tell nobody me either. Okay, let's have a good time. All right. I'm sorry.
But
That
here
was
is
that was me. Now she wasn't raised in a church. I was,
yeah. Mhm,
right?
mhm.
So, and they did us a disservice. But the world ain't got nothing for you. Let me tell you something. Don't let them lie to you. I put it on me. Baby, the world is a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. However,
How's it
however,
never?
it is not better than knowing God. But the world is
No.
a lot of fun.
And so, okay, put it on me, please. Single me out.
I'm gonna sing you out.
Okay. The world can be fun,
Yes.
but the wages of it is not fun.
Oh.
Number 1. Number 2, every just because yes, the scripture that says we're in this world but we're not of it, that is a true scripture and I
Yes.
live by it. And also though, I'm not a drinker. I'm not a
Yes.
drinker not because I think, "Oh, drinking is of the devil." No, I'm not a drinker because I don't like doing things that I don't do well. If I drink, and I have tried to drink, I had my first drink at 21. I don't do well with alcohol. When I say I
Mm.
don't do well, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, it's not a pretty sight. I don't like being belligerent and out of control, and
Yes.
I like to know what I'm doing. I'm a measured person. Now I'm
And be
fun,
chilling.
but I'm a very measured person. I don't
Yeah.
like anything that's taking me out of my
Me out of
element
my
and I can't
comfort. I
control it.
love it.
And alcohol does that for me. So I'm no good at it, so I don't do it. That's literally all. But it's not a religious thing. But here's the thing, and here's the truth. People always say, well, Jesus turned water into wine at the wedding. Jesus was not turning water into Boone's Farm. It is not the wine that y'all drinking today, number
No,
one.
it's not.
Number two, it is not the drinking that is the issue, it is in excess.
Yes.
That's where the issue goes. Anything out of moderation now becomes a problem. That's drinking, that's eating, that's all gluttonous. It's all these
All of
things,
it.
whatever it is. So the world is could be fun, but also living for Christ can be fun too. You can
Yeah.
still have a glass of wine and have your fun and be a full Christian and Jesus loving, Bible toting, Holy Ghost filled believer. You absolutely can. You can have fun. You can go to a party. You can do all the things. So, this religious perspective of what it means to be a Christian is basically people who were trying to shove this down your throat. They had their own secret sins that they were ashamed
Yes,
of,
and they
and they
didn't know
wanted to
they
control
they
you
were
with
not
this mess.
dependent on the Holy Spirit to
Exactly.
change them, to
Exactly.
revive them,
Exactly.
to do anything. They tried to
Yep.
do it in their own power.
Yep.
And so what they thought was complete just like denial
Mhm.
was it only made things worse.
Yes.
It
Absolutely.
only made things worse.
And so even when I was raising Taylor, my daughter, who is 31, I think
Are
she's
they?
about to be 32. Wait, I'm
Oh
gonna be
yeah, they are
53.
31, I
Yeah, she's
think.
about to be 31. She's 31. She's about to be 32 this month.
Yes,
But
they're about to be
I would
32.
I would totally put in her like, when you turn 21, you can drink if you want to, but let me give you the history. So I would tell her because it was a concern of mine about the alcoholism that went through the family.
Mhm.
So she knew about it. Like, listen, I don't know what your tolerance for alcohol is going to be. I don't have a tolerance for alcohol. One drink and I'm drunk. Literally one. I mean, a wine cooler would make me drunk. One wine cooler. When I say I have no tolerance for it, so I don't do it because I mean, I could drink at home because I know I'm safe, but I don't sit up thinking about drinking.
Yeah.
Right now, we have bottles of wine that people have given Antoine for Christmas, Christmas gift. We have
Oh,
stuff like that. We have Tito's vodka that somebody gave him. We will never drink that. He doesn't drink. He can drink. He has a tolerance, but I think because I don't drink, he doesn't.
he
And
doesn't
it's
really
not
drink.
like, yeah, and it's not like we're walking around thinking about it. We have
Right.
alcohol here. We just don't drink it.
Yeah.
I could because I'm in the safety of my home, but I don't like being out of control. But anyway, going back to Taylor, I would tell her, I don't know what your tolerance is going to be like for this.
Mhm.
So be aware,
Yeah.
be 100% aware. Taylor, that girl can drink, which is dangerous for our bloodline
Yeah.
because we have a lot of alcoholics. So she chooses not to drink because she knows she has a high tolerance for alcohol. So
Mm.
she could easily be that person. And you know what I
Now,
mean? So,
yeah. I mean, I drink,
mhm,
but I have to be in the mood,
yeah,
right? Like I have to
yeah.
be like, oh, I want a glass of wine. Oh, I'm
Mhm,
going out. I'm about to have me a good time, or whatever that may look like.
mhm,
But I remember the days where I had to question myself about drinking, right? Am
mhm.
I drinking because I'm not dealing with something?
Bingo bango.
Am I drinking because I'm stressed? Am I
Mhm.
drinking, or am I drinking because I just want to drink today?
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
sometimes you do drink a little bit when you're a little stressed, like, we only have a glass of wine. But I never wanted my drinking to be rooted in me avoiding, right, any type of trauma. Because a lot of the times when you have been through deep trauma, that addiction thing, baby, that thing be like, hey, girl,
It's always
you can
lurking.
bury your problems over here.
It's always lurking, and it could be so easy
Yes,
to fall into that pit. But here's the thing, I think most of our conversation is about self-awareness. Even though we're talking
yes,
about introversion, we're talking about drinking, we're all over the place. I think the root of it is what did I just
self
call it?
awareness,
Thank you. See how fast that left me? I just said it.
self
Self
awareness
self-awareness. I think that's the bottom line. That is our messaging tonight about be aware. Take time to get to know yourself.
to
The
know
fact that
yourself.
Ashley's like, "Wait, I had to question my motives when I'm drinking."
Yes,
Like
like even
that's
with food, I
question
food
my
has
motives.
always been a thing for me. Like food, and so I've always loved food, right?
Mhm.
I've always had a
You're a
love
foodie.
for food,
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
I think as the trauma got thicker, I became addicted, right?
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
I'm stressed, go get food.
Yeah.
I want a reward, go get food. You know,
I'm
like
happy. Mhm.
go get food, girl. What you
Mhm.
want? Your favorite cheese? You know, like
Yeah. Yeah.
that's why when I started losing weight, I'm like, okay, what do I want to do that is outside of rewarding myself with food? Now I got to get in a space where, girl, why don't buy no clothes?
Oh, you
Oh,
sound like Tanisha. My
don't
God.
buy no clothes. Girl,
My
you
God,
look good
Tanisha.
once you back there. Don't buy no more clothes until you get
Uh,
to the place where you want to be. Chill
your
out,
destination.
friend.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's just like addiction is it's a thing when you
Self-awareness
yes,
and balance. That's
yes,
tonight's topic. Self-awareness and balance.
yes,
The key to the sweet spot of life is balance. Even
yes,
with
it
you,
is.
like not going to the extremes with anything. And we have to realize this is a conversation Tanisha and I have often. Like the root cause of why you're doing things like you talked about the drinking or buying clothes or eating, whatever.
Yep.
Getting to the root of it, getting to the motives. But in order to get there, you have to be honest.
Honest.
I
Yes.
think so many people are in denial and not truth telling people that they can easily camouflage one thing for another. And the bottom line, now we're not going to make this an altar call, but the bottom line is making something your God.
Yes.
Because at
It
the end of
is.
the day, I'm a believer.
It
Y'all believe
is.
what you want to believe. I'm still going
It
to pray
is.
for you.
At the end of the day, it is about making something your God. The difference
Absolutely.
is that y'all call it discipline and all of the things which you need. However, it is. If
It
that
that's
thing is the
that
first
is
thing that you
literally
run
that you
to,
go
that is
to.
a God.
Yes. That has you have made that your God. If I need a little smoke, you go into a
Anything
little
that you
smoke
run to first is your God.
every time you stress,
If
I gotta eat.
young
It
men,
has become your
if you
God.
run up in that,
Cootie
that's
cat.
your God.
You've
If
made
that's the
cootie
first
cat.
thing that you need.
You've made
If
cootie cat.
you can't deal
You
with your emotions,
if
but you
you ho
release those
ho oh
emotions through
oh
sex
oh
only,
wait
that's a
cootie
God.
cat. That's your God.
That's your God.
Let's step on some toes that you may not even think of. If you run to your spouse every time,
Something happened.
anytime, that's your God.
If you run to
Yes,
your friends,
your friends, your parents, your children, you've made them your God.
fact.
Every time, it's one thing, if, yeah, okay, this person's here, we're in relationship with each other, they know where I am emotionally, physically, spiritually, mentally, but you never think to run to the source. That is your God. What you have
Yes.
made that thing your God, that you're idol worshiping that thing, whatever that thing is, drinking, getting high, eating, people, sex. I said eating people. I didn't mean it that way, but
You
it
didn't
was
mean that.
comma, eating, comma, people,
People,
comma.
comma.
Okay. Yikes. Yikes. Okay.
That is
But
reminding me of my old pastor.
I'm scared.
No, he was
I'm
he had
so
a road
scared.
rage moment, and we talked about this at church. And he was like, "Before I knew it, I had told that lady, I will eat your children. Like you can't
Oh,
tell nobody."
yikes. Okay. But yes, that so self-awareness and living in the balance of life, like balancing things out, realizing doing that self-check, the self-regulation. Hey,
Yes,
what is the root? Why am I doing this? Why do I keep doing this? I used to
yes.
work with a girl. She'd talk about every time we talked, she was talking about going to this. I can't remember the name of the liquor store, but it's this liquor store chain. And she would just be like, yeah, I'm like, what are you doing after work?
Kenwood.
It's not Kenwood. No, they have them downtown too.
I don't know that.
I can't remember the name of the place.
I don't know
Anyway,
the hood one. God bless.
it's okay. But she'd be like, I'm going to get me some wine. And I just hear this constantly. So finally I asked her, I said, do you drink wine every night? And it wasn't in judgment. I just wanted to know. Inquiry in mind. You're coming in my office, dumping your business. I'm going to ask questions.
Hmm.
She was like, girl, yeah, I have to unwind. I was like, wow, Lord help her.
You wind to unwind. Okay.
Child. And I was just like,
But she doesn't. She didn't understand that she was addicted at the time.
you don't understand you're an alcoholic. Like,
No.
and even though you're a functional alcoholic, you come to work, you don't smell like liquor, none of that. You work, you do all the things,
Mm.
but your first course of action at home is to drink wine before you even engage with your child. And it's just like, wow,
Yeah.
Lord, please help her. And that's no judgment. I literally prayed for her, like, God help her. I know she doesn't see that, but that's an
Hmm.
issue. That is an issue. So yeah, I think it's good that we are self-aware, that we don't become confined to the restrictions put on us. If I just drank knowing that my family in my bloodline, there's alcoholism and I become an alcoholic, that's pretty much on me, even though people
Yes.
call alcoholism a disease. Well, how did I get to that point? I still say that. Listen, I'm not judging anybody. This is about me. I'm talking about how I perceive myself. If
Hmm.
I know that I have a very low tolerance for alcohol and I keep drinking and now I become an alcoholic, well, I got the day that I deserved because I know I have no tolerance for alcohol. Why would I keep trying? So,
Hmm.
disease or not, we can argue that all day long, but the introduction to it and making space for it,
Yes.
that was on me. So I stay away from alcohol because I know I don't have a tolerance and I'm not going to keep
But
pushing the envelope. Now,
I
can I
think,
drink? Girl, yeah, from somewhere safe I could if I wanted
yeah.
to. I don't really want to.
You- So I'm thinking about this because somebody might be like, well, they're talking about self awareness and how much. The question is, how do we increase our self awareness, right?
Mhm.
How do you
You
increase your self awareness? And I
okay,
think some of that is
mhm.
because this is what I've had to do
Yep.
because I am a phone person,
Mhm.
and I just be like, "Da, da, da, da," putting that phone down, right? Like turning that TV off, spending that quiet time with myself, right? Meditation, reflection, journaling, prayer. All of those things are ways to increase your self-awareness.
And so this goes back to I think one of our previous shows. It was 2 or 3 episodes ago and I was talking about investing more time with yourself. You basically said the same thing right now.
Hmm.
That's how we increase it. And also that you pay attention. Like
Yes,
start asking yourself the questions. Even
yes,
if you don't have a history of self-awareness, you can think back to different things that you regret. Think about your regrets in life. Man, I wish I hadn't done this. Man, why did I do this? Man, why anytime you ask yourself, why do I keep doing XYZ? That is an opportunity and a space for you to dive deeper to get
exactly.
more self-awareness. That is an opportunity for you to actually overcome in that area, but you have to ask yourself the questions. Because guess what? Self, God, God's self, whatever you want to call it, will give you the answers if you
Yes,
sit long enough. I think we are just that's the point of being moving. We're just moving, moving, moving,
yes,
moving.
and moving
Go, go,
without a
go. Do,
purpose.
do,
Yeah,
do. If you have time by
and
yourself,
eh,
you're picking up the
yeah,
phone, you're scrolling, doom scrolling. You can't take a moment to just be alone in the stillness of self, in
that
the
part.
stillness of God, in the stillness of let me unwind and really evaluate. And the best way, Ash named a lot of things that we've talked about before.
Hmm.
And the best way, in addition to taking time in the stillness, writing stuff down.
Yeah,
Like literally, we call it journaling. People get, I think, sometimes intimidated by the term journaling. Just
yeah,
write it down. Get a
yeah,
book, get a piece of paper. It doesn't matter, loose
and
leaf
it's
paper.
and
Write down your day. You'll start
that
to see
part.
patterns. You will start to see patterns like, wait, what did I do today? And really, when you write things down, it forces you to be more honest.
It
The reason
does.
I say if you have a food journal, it's gonna force you to be honest. Like, man, I
So,
can't believe I ate that. Why did I
ooh,
eat that?
because I used to hate putting my food in my app. Ooh, because I already knew, baby, green.
Uh,
Girl, no calories left because you
So
done
that,
ate them up. You
yes.
just ate them up. Friend,
It
right.
forces the honesty. So if you start writing stuff down, like how long was that? What did I do today? And all you're writing is the reels that you saw and the
Yes.
TikTok videos. I saw this video. I saw that. The
You know,
next day,
yeah, to the point where you don't even know what you're thinking. Like you should be able to catch like subconscious thoughts that don't align with who you believe that you are, right? Like all of those things.
we are
But
over an hour, and the daughter is
yeah,
calling me. But you're absolutely right. I'm sorry. I'm trying to stop the ring. I'm gonna have to call her back. No,
okay.
sorry. I'm all over the place. You're absolutely right. You don't even know what you're thinking. You haven't
Hmm.
even processed your day mentally. And how many people walk around without processing their day?
Oh, a lot of people, and they don't think they do. It's a lot. It's so many. It's millions of people who are not living in the present.
They're just going with the flow
You're
of
just
things.
going.
And so, wait, that brings up, we're over an hour, Ash, but I have to say this because you just mentioned something else. You just keep mentioning these topics
I'm
that are like, oh my gosh,
sorry.
that's a good one.
I'm
No,
sorry.
no, no, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. But I led this aromatherapy class, master
Mm,
class, a couple of weeks ago.
period. Since
And
you
we
got
were
me out
talking, you're funny. But when we were talking about the power of aromatherapy, first of all, my question that I posed, and I posed this question online before I even led this class.
hmm.
Did you know that your nose has a memory?
Ah.
And I really wanted to see, who would respond and if they really thought about it. And yes, your nose does have a memory. The nose,
Hmm.
the sense of smell is the only sense. We have five senses. Some people question and debate how many others, whatever. But we have five senses, right? Smell, taste, touch, sight, hearing. Okay. Um, the sense of smell is the only one that is directly connected to with the limbic system.
Hmm.
The limbic system is what processes emotions. It's the
Very
place
interesting.
it's the
Yeah.
place of processing and gathering information for your emotions. Your
Hmm.
sense of smell is directly connected. Now,
To
those
your
other senses, they go through these channels and they're not directly connected to
Mhm.
whatever. So there's processes to them. This one is directly connected, meaning your sense of smell. And I use this as an example. I said, have you ever smelled something? And it may have been a lemon scent, and it immediately took you back to when you were 6 or 7 years old and your grandmother or your Mimi, I put myself in the story because I used to make these lemon caramel cakes, but I said your grandmother or your Mimi was in the kitchen making her famous lemon cake, and now you just walk past this smell. You're 40, 50 years old, and
Mhm.
you smell this, and it's like, oh man, you are instantly in that kitchen. You're 6 or 7 years old watching your Mimi at the stove, at the oven, making her famous lemon cake and singing, let's stay together, Al Green on the radio. So not only are you engaged in a memory, but now you can hear the song Al Green. You can smell the lemon cake. You can see your Mimi. You have feelings. You can feel her presence. She might have been dead years or decades, but you're instantly transported back into this moment, all from smelling lemon, something that smelled like lemon cake. And this is 30, 40 years later. That is because your sense of smell is connected to your memory. It's connected to anything that engaged with you and gave you an emotional response. It made you emotionally tied to it. Now, that's a beautiful, pleasant memory. How much more the negative, horrific memories, the
Mhm.
traumatic memories? Your sense of smell is connected to that too. For a long time, I couldn't smell this cologne called Dracor because Drakkar. That's it,
Mhm.
Drakkar. Because of what my father did to me, and he was wearing Drakkar.
Mm.
So I literally would have a whole body shut down if I smelled that. And I didn't know what was happening to me the first time it happened. Like, what is happening? I literally lost feeling, just whole body shut down. I was sharing this and some things we can do to counteract those memories that are
Mhm.
tied to our nose and our sense of smell.
Mhm.
But I talked about how, when was the last time we were connected with all of our senses at the same time?
Mm.
That we were actually fully present. We sat in a moment. There's a grounding exercise called the 5 4 3 2 1. It's grounding.
Mhm.
It is. Find 5 things that you can taste or touch, find 4
Mhm.
things that you can do this, 3 things, and it's all connected to your senses. One thing you can hear, so you sit in the stillness and you in the room, you're looking for 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can taste, 2 things you can hear. I'm missing one, whatever, smell, and then 1 thing you can smell. And it forces you to be fully present in your body.
Mhm.
I don't think we do that enough. I don't
No.
think we go outside, and for us, it's finally getting, spring is coming now, but
Yes.
I don't think
The
we go out.
vitamin D.
Girl, yes, but I don't think we go outside and take our shoes off and just walk in the grass enough.
No.
That's a
I
grounding
love
exercise.
grounding with
It's
my
a
feet.
touching
Like
a
I have to
tree.
go outside when it starts to get like warmer in the morning
Yes, yes.
when the birds are chirping and then you
It
put your feet like and for
and
me it's not even the grass, it's just being outside on my balcony with my feet.
yes, I love
And of
that, and
course,
I do the same thing.
somebody somewhere will be like, that demonic.
No, it's
You're
not.
stupid. Sorry.
God
That's okay.
created the universe and
God
everything
created the
in it,
universe, He created the
and
ground.
everything in it.
Those things are actually a very real grounding is a very real thing.
And these are things God gave us to help keep us balanced.
Yes.
These are things that will stop you from needing reefer. I know I'm old when I say
Reefer.
reefer. I don't care. Forget you. Marijuana. These are things that could stop you from needing liquor. These are things that could help you stop overeating.
Yeah.
These, like, if you would actually use the tools that God has given us, He's
Like
given us all the tools to
we
make
need
us
nature.
balanced.
We
We
need
need
nature.
nature. And if we didn't need it, He wouldn't have created it. I'm
That
sorry,
part.
folks. We need to hug a tree. I love trees.
Facts.
We need it. We need it. So, my encouragement for today is my mental health moment is take a moment this coming week or this weekend and really be fully present in your body and feel everything, smell everything, hear everything, taste everything. When you're eating, don't just scarf your food down. Actually
No.
sit and taste it. Let it sit on your tongue where your taste buds are and enjoy the taste
Mm-hmm.
and appreciate it. And so, because we move so fast and then
Fast.
we're dead. And Angie Stone, what was the other man from Tony who just died?
What?
Um, Girl, yeah, one of the Tony members, Wiggins. Is it Dwight Wiggins? He
What?
just died. Yeah, he just died. Um,
Oh,
who's
I feel
what's the
like
other
nobody
one?
told me.
Yeah, girl. Life is so yeah, Dwayne Wiggins. He just died, 64 years old. Angie Stone just died. What was she 64 too? 62 or
She was like
63?
63 or something,
Yeah, she was
62.
60. Angie Stone. We don't know. So enjoy the moment.
Oh, I
Enjoy
didn't
life.
know that.
I know. Yeah. So that's all I have, Nisi
Oh,
Poo.
that was actually Raphael Sadiq's brother? I didn't know that.
Yep.
Oh,
Life is short. The
it
point is life
is.
is short. Enjoy all of it. Enjoy all of it. Even in this
Yes,
season where we're not having this podcast isn't happening with us burying our heads in the sand,
not at
not
all.
not paying attention to what's going on in America. We know what's
We can
going on in
see.
America.
We
We
can
can
see
see.
very clearly. We can
Yes,
see
we can.
how everybody is disrespecting each other. We can see war brewing. We can see, all of the things. We can see it.
The planes going down, the conspiracies,
We can
the
see eggs
yeah.
being $55. We see it
Uh-huh.
all.
We see it. We see it. And so we encourage you to do your part, whatever your part is.
Yes.
Whatever your part in the protest. We started this with the protests
Yes.
in our dollars. So we can see
And it
whatever
is
that thing is.
okay if you're just sitting in the middle of your house and you decide that you're going to quench your dollars with the
Mhm,
boycott
mhm,
and keep your peace.
mhm.
That's just fine.
And buy black.
And buy black.
Buy black. Buy. Black.
That
That's
part.
all I have. That's all I have.
Oh, okay. So we're gonna wrap this thing on up.
Mm-hmm.
Wish I had the graphics for it. However, Auntie will be speaking at the ARC conference, right?
Oh, yes, yes.
April 4th
April
through
4th and 5th.
5th
So
in
the art conference,
Chicago.
yes, it's in Chicago and it is being presented to you all by Dr. Robert Marshall.
Yes,
And
and we've
so,
had him on this show before.
yes, we have. We might need to run that episode again this
We
month.
probably do. Oh, that would be good.
Yeah, yeah, we need to rerun that
Okay,
because
that would
it's a
be good.
very good episode.
Yes.
And this conference is not about just sensationalizing sexual abuse. It is about individuals who have felt stigmatized, who have felt lost in their shame, who have
Hmm.
felt stagnant because they can't get past something in them, won't let them get past what happened to them. It is for the individual who puts on a smile and is like I used to be. I used to call myself the master of masking. You
Yes.
didn't know anything was wrong with me. And I was giving and loving and kind and gentle and all the things to everyone
Mhm.
except myself. It is for that person. It is for the person who feels like they're alone and there's no way that you could understand my story or relate to my story, or you have been a victim to your victimization. It's for that individual. There will be therapists, there will be
Mhm.
individuals with lived experiences, coaches, trainers, teachers, speakers, experts, all types of people with all types of resources that are tangible resources that not only give you the butterflies that, oh my gosh, that was an amazing speaker, but
Mhm.
also that it's impactful, that you can walk away changed and transformed with some actual physical tools on
Mhm.
how you're going to start your life over, reinvigorate yourself, re-energize, whatever the re-word is that you need, that you can start over and get not necessarily control, but because I think we never have full control.
Control.
Um,
But you can
but
get tools for regulation.
thank you.
You can get
Absolutely.
tools for self-regulation and tools for coping healthily, right?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I think those things are the greatest thing. Amen.
Amen.
So,
And you can go from being a victim to being a thriver, to being
yes,
an overcomer, to being a person who is regulated and balanced, where
and
you, mhm.
yes, that part too, and understanding that you deserve all of the good things,
Yes, you do.
not because of your trauma, but you deserve
Nope.
all of the good things because you deserve all of the good things.
Because you were created and you
Yes,
are not a
in the image
mistake.
and the likeness of God. Yes.
You are not a mistake. You were intentionally created to be here
Mhm.
in this time, in this dispensation. So go to the ARC conference. And if you have a problem finding it, just look up Dr. Robert Marshall. If you have another problem, go on Ash's page. I'm sure it's somewhere on there. Go on my page. You'll
It's
see it.
well, I did repost the video, and I'll
Okay.
probably do it a couple of more times.
Perfect.
And yeah, you can find it in our stories or anything like
Yes.
that. But make sure that if you know somebody that has dealt
Yes.
with trauma and still dealing with it, or you are a parent of a child who has dealt,
Oh, I can't show it. I'm sorry. I thought it was going to.
or you
I
are a
was trying.
parent of a child, it could be
Uh-huh.
a grown child that has dealt with trauma,
Uh-huh.
and you need to understand how they are, all of
Hmm.
the things, why they are triggered, right?
Hmm.
This is the conference for you. This is for families and for, I don't want to say victims, but people that are on their way to their healing in their healing journey.
Individuals with lived experience.
Yes.
Absolutely. Hmm.
All right. So you can follow us at Hey Auntie and Ash on YouTube. You can follow our Instagram at Hey Auntie and Ash. You can follow me at I am Ash Janelle on Instagram. Did I say Hey Auntie and Ash on Instagram? I think I did.
I think you
You can
did. Hmm.
also follow me at Notes with Ash on YouTube. You can follow Auntie at Out of My Shell the Voice on YouTube. Out of My Shell the Voice on Instagram.
Hmm.
Coach
Coach
Michelle
Yep.
Jackson
She,
on
yeah.
Facebook. Don't
Yes.
forget to also follow the Lemons Candle page. Okay.
Yes. Lemons, Candles, and Co. Yes, yes, yes.
We got candles.
Yes, we
All
do,
right.
girl.
Let's add this to the stage. Let's
Can you
add
see
it to
that?
the stage. So as you can see, Auntie is one of the speakers
Whoop,
for
whoop,
the
whoop.
art conference. Woo! And this is
Mhm.
a tour. So They are going to multiple places. But
Yes.
this Chicago is the stop because we from Chicago.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Robert is from Chicago. We
Ye-
from Chicago. All of the things. So I will be in attendance because number one, I have to support Auntie. Amen.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Amen.
Thank you.
And then also, as you can see, Mrs. Marshall is on the roster,
Yes. That's her right there.
and a couple other people. I can't
Uh-huh.
hardly see everybody,
Let me,
but it
yeah.
looks like the panel is definitely going to be one where there are a group. It's a group of well-rounded individuals, right? From clergy
Yes.
to
Yes.
therapists
Yes.
to survivors. But I think that
Coaches,
it's
speakers,
coaches.
experts.
It's going to
Yes.
be very well rounded. As my child is banging on the door saying, "Mommy,
So
mommy."
thank you all so much.
Thank you. Yes,
We will see you the next time. Have
yes,
a
we
great
will see.
evening. Bye, Ash. I'll see you guys later.
Bye.